So irritating and painful at the very start of the 10th Parliament, the ruling NREM government, with its leader of government business in the House, the Prime Minister, Dr. RuhakanaRugunda, failing to generate business to Parliament. It's a shame and pity.
Been in this Parliament, I think people are even surprised they don't see me on the floor. Because I came here to do business, legislation, analyzing policies, and if none of those comes from government, there's virtually no point being in the House.
And so disappointed with President Museveni, who is the appointing authority, that he has not acted up to now. And yet they have rebranded this Kisanja Hakuna Mu Chezo. Now they are all Musezo, they are all playing around. So by now he should have taken actions if he's really walking the talk. Because we hardly, since we started our parliament, we hardly generate half of the cabinet in the House. What is happening? So people are just carrying title and driving around the city, posting that the ministers were supposed to deliver services on behalf of the government, and they're not doing anything.
Is there anything fundamentally wrong with the executive that is supposed to generate business to the House?
And really, there's something really fundamentally wrong in this term of President Museveni. Whether the focus is such that Parliament has become irrelevant to the administration of this country, whether the focus now is on things that he wants to finish and therefore he doesn't want any new things to come, I don't know. But also what I know is that Parliament saved businesses, bills which were before the House, the 9th Parliament. Just to revive those bills alone don't require anything that government ought to do again. All they need to do is come to the floor of the House and say, we are bringing back this bill. And then the process would have begun. The committees scrutinizing bills would have been working.
This is an indictment on the leadership of President Yoweri Museveni, because he's the chief executive and he appoints the Prime Minister with a purpose and a mission towards achieving the goals that are set by the executive and also by the national aspirations of the country. But you're aware, we have a leader of a government business who is appointed, who is supposed to lead the executive in Parliament here. And in Parliament here, we are supposed to dispense the businesses that are initiated by government.
Apparently, at the offset of the 10th Parliament, most worrying is that private members' bills are available for discussion. But this is contrary to the rules of procedure of the House that warrants first precedence be given to business generated by government.
The procedure of Parliament is very clear that the business of the House is generated by the cabinet. Since we started, we have never had any cabinet resolution, a cabinet proposal. It is only yesterday we saw some bill being tabled and which will be forwarded to the committee. But ordinarily in a very serious situation, cabinet must generate business for the House. And they have not been doing that. And every Wednesday, they are facilitated, they are paid by the taxpayers' money to conduct meetings, to analyze and to come out with policies and issues that should be debated by Parliament.
This problem that you see with Parliament, is sometimes we even begin to believe that there's a deliberate attempt to soil the image of Parliament by making it redundant in the eyes of Ugandans. And really, it is a shame for our country.
For example, in our rules of procedure, government business takes precedence. They're the ones to bring the bills on the floor of Parliament. They're the ones to bring motions on how we are going to move, especially on the loan requests. They're the ones who are supposed to make statements here in Parliament on how things are being done in the executive, in the country, and also in Parliament here. But for the last many months, you're aware, the Business Committee of Parliament has not received any clear business proposals from the Prime Minister. And that means that Parliament cannot only be working on what members of Parliament are saying. That's why you have seen here many questions, many queries by members of Parliament to the Prime Minister and to ministers. And most of them also fail to answer the issues raised by matters raised by members of Parliament.
What implications does the incompetence of the leader of government business have on the performance of Parliament when he fails to generate business to the House for debate?
Without government business, it means that Parliament cannot move effectively, cannot dispense business expeditiously, cannot derive business on its own, and therefore it hampers the work of Parliament. And that's why the Speaker General was not happy with the executive. That give us business and a dispense. Give us business and we conclude. But without it, we will just be debating, we will be talking, and nothing much will be done. So it is actually upon the President now, because I have heard he's moving all over the country, but you cannot be moving all over the country when actually the core of the business in the Parliament is not being handled properly. So it is upon the President now to direct, to call on his people.
Okot Ogong tells me that this has serious bearings about the ruling party's agenda to deliver the country to the middle income status by 2020 under the catchphrase Kisanja Hakuna Mu Chezo.
Because I remember I said this is Kisanja Hakuna Mu Chezo. So I think there's a lot of playing games here. So do we believe in the words that, or we just say the words and we don't follow it with action? Or is it just to blindfold people that you are going to work and yet you are not ready to do work? Because running up and down all over the country, those are just simple things. Anybody can do it. Even LC1 can, LC2 or what can do it. But the major one, serious matters are here. The laws must be brought on here. Issues that we are bringing out must be brought on, like the cost of doing business in the country, like the economy, the health of the economy. We must know it. The high interest rate cannot make anybody do business in the country. We are saying there is no food, people have no food. The president is going giving things, but people don't have food, people are dying. And we are asking people here, where is the budget for that money? Nothing. Nothing. No, not prepared, no nothing. They say they don't know what to do. And yet we are telling them, no, rain has not come. Do you have seeds that these people are going to plant? Because the seeds for the first season was gone. So now, what are the plants? Where are the seeds? People are throwing away these suckers. People are throwing away these citrus seedlings. They say, this is not what we want. This is not what we want. We want maize seeds. We want rice seeds. We want beans. We want, that's what people are saying. So I don't understand. I don't really understand how you can run a country like you are just running a market.
A comparative analysis of the leaders of government businesses in the 9th and the 10th Parliament points to a similarity in character performance as opposed to the business generated to the 10th Parliament that was under the stewardship of Professor Apollo Sibambi as the leader of government business then. The question would be, what has gone wrong?
But definitely in the 8th Parliament, we hit the ground running. We had bills, we had government businesses to do, and in the business committee, where I existed and participated as leader of opposition then, I insisted that all the issues that have to be addressed in order to meet the welfare of the country and to provide for its legislation had to be had to be brought. And I think there must be pressure put on the current Prime Minister because he is the leader of government business in the House. Let this House ask him, have you failed to lead your business in this house so that you quit and somebody else takes over? If not, explain to us what is going on. It is sad. I mean, I feel personally very embarrassed because we are paid to do business in this house. And the things that Ugandans see when Parliament begins to sit is matter of national importance, matter of importance. I mean, this is not what brought us to Parliament. And I really hate it.
Compare it by yourself. You just can't compare it. Because even attendance, we are telling them, please, where are your ministers, Prime Minister? We have 80 ministers, we approved. Where are they? So if the Prime Minister cannot preside, cannot supervise, cannot control, cannot monitor, cannot enforce the ministers to attend, what about in their offices? What about in their offices? They might not even be doing nothing. So that's what we are saying. Parliament you have seen here. Laissez-faire business. Laissez-faire cannot answer, cannot do this. So I think the Prime Minister should pull up his socks. He should do better than that. And we are calling upon him and the President that Uganda deserves better. Yeah, the people actually deserve better. So they must work, not just talking, action.
While independent analysts would like to associate the problem with the leader of government business, the leader of opposition, the Business Committee of Parliament chaired by the Speaker, herself and her deputy, Professor Ogenga Latigo reveals that the problem is bigger than what meets the eye.
Problem is bigger than Parliament. Ask yourself, what has ministries done? Has the Minister of Education, who is the President's wife, done anything substantial that you can talk of? Has the Minister of Finance done anything substantial that you can talk of? Has the Minister for Energy done anything substantial that you can talk of? There is what I would call exhaustion on the part of the guys ruling this country now. And the sooner they realize that maybe they had better retire and let others take over, there's no doubt they'll bring the country down if things continue this way.
The interim, what should be done to get the executive to ease footing to generate business to the House before the situation worsens and the country slumbers into maladministration?
You, the media, just do what you were doing to Parliament. Eat the mud. Expose them before the country. Put pressure on them. The easiest, the people who can best put pressure on them is not us in Parliament. It is the media, because you expose what is happening to the entire country. And you have to do that, and do it with very strong language. It will provoke them to do something in the House.
Timothy Sibasi,